what it takes to protect grounded aircraft. This is what life on the tarmac once looked like. Nearly 100,000 flights taking off and landing every day, all around the world.
We were doing well. The aviation industry was actually booming.
Today, the World Health Organization officially announced that this is a global pandemic.
COVID-19 would change all that. The coronavirus pandemic escalated into the worst crisis in aviation history. No matter the airport on the planet, planes started cramming in. Rows upon rows of aircraft, all with nowhere to go.
I don't feel good at all. Looking at these scenes is not a good view to have. It's make me sad. They are meant for flying, not sitting on the ground doing nothing here.
Plane after plane with wings clipped. Be it Singapore, Manila, or Kuala Lumpur. Aircraft engineers would need to protect their grounded planes in ways like never before.
So more than ever now, the industry is depending on the aircraft engineer to help the operators get through this tough time. With all the aircrafts parked and stored across the world, it's critical that they need to maintain the aircraft in order to return the aircraft to service properly.
The very first daunting task for our unsung heroes, parking the planes. So many planes, so little space.
Slowly, sir, slowly.
Constant communication
Wait, I think we're too close now.
as the plane makes a tight turn.
Okay, steady.
The biggest challenge is to ensure that the aircraft is far from other aircraft so that we can avoid any mishaps like damaging other aircrafts that are being parked or even causing injury to personnel involved in the towing operation.
Regular washing, rotating tires, testing parts of the wings. The to-do maintenance list for grounded aircraft is long. One of the key guidelines: protect the plane against wildlife, no matter how small. The hunt for wildlife goes beyond the wings. Crawling into the hot and stuffy confines of the landing gear is an integral part of the drill.
It's normal for mechanics to be able to perform such inspections in a very unfriendly environment because it's part of the job. There are a lot of openings in this compartment. Any sort of wildlife might snuck into. Most of the time you may find birds or maybe small rodents crawling in here that may damage all these electronics and the hydraulic lines in the aircraft.
Even the tiniest of pests, which might seem harmless to an aircraft, pose serious threats. An oversight can prove catastrophic. Daily, weekly, or monthly, maintenance tasks are performed throughout the plane. But one part is particularly important: the engine, which can cost upwards of $25 million each.
For an aircraft, the engine is the most expensive part. It is a part of the aircraft. We need those engines to power the whole aircraft for the operations.
Today in Singapore, the engines on this A350 will be powered up.
Roger, starting engine 1.
But the plane is going nowhere.
So typically when an aircraft is flying and there are regular flights, the engine is always turned on a regular basis. However, when the aircraft is on ground for extended periods, these engines are not turned on as frequent as we want them to. So depending on the aircraft or the engine type, and what parking mode they are in. We can run the engine either every month or every 3 to 6 months.
The engine runs are really important if you left your car sitting in your garage for a long period of time and didn't start it regularly. Not only would your battery be dead, but your seals and your gaskets and things like that would be dry.
The engineers look out for readings in the cockpit, but also pay attention to the sound, if there are any abnormal sound or high-pitched tones. So when the engine is humming, stable, and there's no high-pitched sound, it signals the engine is good.
All the engine parameters are good.
Engine ground run is good.
No faults captured.
No faults captured.
We've run the engine for about 20 minutes now. It's very loud and I have to put on my earpieces. Normally, we run the engine for about 5 minutes at most at the gate, but in this unprecedented situation where we have aircraft all over, Changi Airport actually allows us to keep the engine running for about 30 minutes.
Shutting down, number 1.
Running of the engine burns away any water content that's in the oil because water can be corrosive and this is what drives the aircraft. So it's very important to protect the engine to make sure it's rust-free, it's well oiled to ensure that it is in good condition and safe to fly.
Running the engines burns up any moisture. But it will be several weeks or months before the next power-up. So in the meantime, aircraft engineers have additional safeguards.
So we are putting a silica gels bags inside the engines to prevent moisture and keep the engines safe from rusting.
Aircraft engineers had to work hard to procure engine covers too. These help fully shield the engine from humidity and other hazards.